So let's start off with Man City's potential one-year Champions League ban by UEFA for not following financial fair play rules. To preface this storyline, I want to say nothing has been confirmed, but a UEFA board meeting will be held tomorrow, Thursday, to discuss a potential ban for Man City. And also, I want to say real quick that this isn't the first time City has had accusations similar to these. In 2014, they were given a 60 million euro fine for, and were restricted also in transfer spending and squad size for Champions League due to similar accusations. So, what are you guys' initial thoughts on the potential ban that they're facing?
Will it be a ban or another fine?
This report that came out from the New York Times was talking a lot about a ban. Like, they won't be able for a season
Probably
to play.
Second time offense or something
Yeah.
like that. When did they even spend all the money that they're getting punished for? Like, in the last 2 years, the only big player I can think of is Laporte.
Mahrez.
But that's like two.
No, did you watch the documentary? Some of it. Do you remember how? I don't remember exactly who, but during that season, they had several injuries, and they brought in players, and it was record signing.
Just go get anybody they want.
It was a record signing, like
Gundogan.
Yeah,
players like that.
He was already there, but I remember definitely Laporte's signing was like a record signing at the time.
Well, yeah, because they have the money to they have an injury in like December, they just go buy a player to replace him in January. They've got the money in the draw.
Yeah, if you do you think they should? What do you think the punishment should be if they did violate financial fair play regulations or rules?
Well,
do you think a ban?
It sucks that it's a ban if it's going to be a ban because everyone wants to see them play in the Champions League, and they've won the Premier League, so they should have the right to play in the Champions League. But I mean, you have to follow the rules.
Do you think a ban is too harsh? Do you think it's not harsh enough if they did break the regulations?
I feel like a fine is kind of counterintuitive. It's like you spent all this money, so we're going to charge you for
they already
money.
have all the money. Everyone knows they have like an unlimited budget.
No, I agree with the fine. It's not really going to affect them. I'd say the two things that could really hurt them would be the Champions League ban. That sucks. That sucks for the fan base.
That sucks for players
and the fan base.
For transfers.
Yeah.
If they want to sign anybody, and sucks for fans.
I think also restricting transfer spending in the future is an interesting thing to do too, because that could
market escalating.
Yeah, that could hurt them
what they did to
in terms of getting more players in the future. Because, I mean, I feel like they're gonna keep most of that squad intact, but obviously players who aren't necessarily getting the opportunity they want are gonna leave. Yeah. So as we see, Sané is linked to Bayern. And do you think there needs to be just stricter regulations in general with spending with the top teams, especially not necessarily in Champions League, but in this time I'm talking about the Premier League?
I don't even know what the rules are. Like a budget.
I think that's the thing with soccer is it's very hidden. Like we don't get to see as fans the regulations.
So much money.
And we're used to American sports where it's they have a budget.
There's a cap.
Draft.
There's usually some sort of hard or soft cap.
So,
I
don't know how it works, but
I mean, I don't know. I'd personally like to see them put some sort of, not a hard cap like the NFL, but a soft cap kind of like the NBA in terms of spending, where the best teams and dynasties will still be there. So you still have your top six because they're still making this insane amount of revenue each year.
Yeah.
But it doesn't let a team like Man City just spend on almost like I felt like for me the Mahrez signing that they made this summer was almost not necessarily a move for something that they needed, but something to block other teams for even signing Mahrez.
Right, and that's unfair.
Yeah.
Financially, for other teams in the league, just to buy people so that other teams can't have them. That's almost what they did with Alexis too.
Yeah.
But then he went to United.
I think that's really interesting because you're looking at a Liverpool team that had 97 points this season.
Yeah.
And
they spent hella money too. So.
But not relative to City, and City's done this. City's been spending this kind of money for the past 3 seasons now.
Well, City's been spending this kind of money since they were taken over.
Yeah.
Since they were bought by the Sheikh.
Yeah.
But Liverpool's kind of catching up in the last couple of years, trying to, push for the title again.
Yeah, they've made a lot of signings. Not massive signing, but it's a lot of little 30 million, 50 million. It's all adding up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would say I'd say with City, like the amount of talent they have, like Liverpool, although they've made signings, they've gone and got Van Dijk. How like
expensive
majority of City's players, if you look at that squad, are not young. Like they're having young players come up now, like Phil Foden, players like him come up. But if you look at the squad that really played the core of the games this season, who at that squad has been playing at City for several years, or how many of those guys are new players, right? Off the top of my head, right, I'm thinking of players who've been at City for a while now. I'm thinking of Company and Otamendi, and that's it.
Otamendi hasn't been in that long. And Aguero.
Laporte, Zinchenko, Ederson, Walker, those are all pretty relatively new signings.
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva's only been there for a season or two. Season and a half.
Yeah.
Sterling's been there for 3, but that was still like massive signing.
One of their actually longest.
And he's only been there for like 3 seasons as well. So
I think Aguero and Company are really like the only guys.
Yeah,
the only
people from the last time they won the league.
Yeah. And Liverpool has had a core group of guys for now, I'd say 4 years around.
Who?
Well, I mean, if you
like Henderson,
you have guys like Henderson, Milner. You have guys who have been in the squad. They're not.
Yeah, but that's still just 2 players.
Now the staples of those teams are all new spend.
Yeah, like new Salah, Firmino, Mane. Those guys have been there together.
And the fullbacks,
2 years.
both fullbacks are new.
Didn't Trent? But Trent came up through the youth system, right?
Right, but he's still a new.
Yeah,
new
but
player. Like I guess they didn't spend money on him.
So you guys don't really feel like there is a financial it's you feel it's fair enough for the top teams in the Premier League. Like you feel the spending discrepancy between City and Liverpool and the rest of the big six.
If Arsenal wanted to spend money like Liverpool, they could, but
I don't think they could spend money like City. I don't think Arsenal.
Well, I'm not saying like City. City is on another level with money.
So you think City is definitely on another level from the rest of the teams in the Premier League?
Yeah, but that's just
they were bought by oil.
Yeah,
oil. So
that's why they have all that money. But
that's money.
Like Liverpool are challenging them with the same amount of money that teams like Arsenal and United and Spurs.
And Spurs were challenging for most of the season without a purchase in the last 2 windows. So,
yeah, but
I don't know if there's such a the biggest teams, the best teams, City, Liverpool, are making the most money as well as spending the most money. So there is some sort of equality there, or equity at least.
But I would say the gap even between City and Liverpool spending is like if you go down to like a mid-tier team and then went that to like an Arsenal or Spurs, right? And then you do the Arsenal to Spurs to like even like a Liverpool, because Liverpool's I'd say spends more than them. That gap from those clubs, each gap, I'd say City is at the top of that by a wide margin. And although Liverpool contended this year, they didn't come away with a trophy in the Premier League. And if City are able to spend again this summer,
haven't City spent $1 billion since their takeover?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's an issue that kind of needs to be addressed, because I think those clubs that make the most money should be able to spend, but there needs to be some sort of cap on it. And that cap should be set relatively high so they can spend. But I think it needs to be in place so it's a little more competitive between the top 6 teams.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, we don't know about the rules, but in theory, the clubs do. And if there are rules that they're aware of that they're breaking, then there should be some sort of punishment.
Yeah, and I also feel like with City, and if they were to win the league again next year, right? There's a lot of factors. Like, they have great players. There's no denying that. The talent they have is great. Pep's done a great job coaching them into his style. But if they were to three-peat in the Premier League, I think there's kind of an issue there. And we have to address that as next season comes around. But I think if they were to three-peat, you'd have to question some of like the regulations that are set in place to make this a fair league.
Well, that is if they three-peat. And when they go out this summer and they strengthen, and then they win again, and they bring in another.
And if they don't have to compete for the Champions League next year,
they can completely focus on them.
Well, yeah, if they go out next year and spend like 120 million on Hazard or something in the summer, then there's good questions need to be asked. But if they don't go and buy any incredible, like world class players like that, and they repeat again, then it's just at that point we have to recognize the quality of the team, and it's less and less about the money.
I think they can win the Premier League again with the squad they have now.
I agree.
I just pulled up the transfer activity of the top Premier League teams over the last 5 years. So Manchester City have spent £563 million. Manchester United has spent £484 million. So, or no, is that the deficit or?
That's how much
total.
Yeah. So that's
You're looking at this number, right?
Yeah.
This is all net. It's all.
This is net. Okay, net spending. I don't know.
Well, even with that.
But even with that, City
have 100 million on. The rest of the. On second place.
On second place of net spending. Spurs have actually done a good job.
Well, yeah, because they've spent their money on re-signing players on big contracts.
But look at where's Liverpool on this list? Liverpool's net spending is negative £184 million to City's. City doesn't have to worry about buying players and selling to help balance it out. City can literally just buy. And I think that's what
and then just
set them apart.
People who aren't
they should have like a cap on how you can spend like 200 million or 150 million per window.
Or it'd be interesting if they put a cap on the number of players you could bring in.
But I feel like that'd be unfair to the small clubs who want to bring in like a team like Fulham. Even though they got relegated, they brought in
they spent 100 million, got relegated. That's a discussion for another time.
Yeah, but they brought in loads of new players.
Yeah.
You know.
So here's another statistic: transfer activity of the last 10 years. I mean, it's a similar thing though. But you see City again on top in terms of deficit.
That's $1 billion spent.
Yeah, that's $1 billion spent.
Yeah.
What's second place?
United at 600 million. That is a huge deficit. 400 million between the first and second.
Yeah.
I feel like that is an issue. And there's obviously something to be said that money doesn't mean everything, because if you look at a team like United who has spent tons and are still
spending
terrible.
money smartly, and City spend their money.
The last time City made money in a transfer window was in 2010. And ever since then, they've lost money. Whereas Spurs made money in their last transfer window and in 2015-16, and Liverpool made money in last season. So that's evidence that goes to show the City are just spending, and nobody else is spending quite like them.
For me, from this, you can just see that City has the ability to spend without having to be concerned about offloading players or financially have to have any concerns. So I would say, personally, just to wrap it up, that I believe there needs to be some sort of soft cap set where there's a little more restriction on how much spending, just to even keep the financial fair play within the top 6 teams a little more. Because obviously you can never regulate spending so that City and Brighton are on a similar level. But if you can focus on the top 6 teams
how much revenue
and make it more competitive.
You bring in through.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be able to spend more than you make. I think that's that's sort of the rule.
Don't all Premier League teams get a certain chunk, a big chunk of money
from TV deals?
Yeah,
so they're all making a lot of money, but then some teams,
on top
PSG
of that,
City have been accused, they're spending more than they're actually making.
But on top of the TV deals, just through the Premier League, the Big Six also get the kit sponsors and the people buying their jerseys and all that.
Right.
So. Yeah.
I think it'll just be something interesting to watch what the board actually rules. The City does have the one-year ban, and hopefully more information will come out about what they did in terms of their wrongdoing.